This is just a quick tutorial on how to use Google Forms and use them for quizzes. So it's actually really sweet if you haven't used it before. I shared this quiz with you, so the first thing you should do if you want to use this quiz is go ahead and make a copy of it. So make a copy. That way you'll get your own student responses and not mine, and I won't get your student responses, so that would be good. Make a copy, and then you're free to delete any of these questions. If you don't like one of them or you want to change one of the answers or reword it, that's absolutely fine. Once you make a copy, please do that. And then the next thing you want to do, which is actually really cool, is and I'm not sure if sharing this with you if this is already going to be done, but if you want to make it a quiz, you're going to click on the Make a Quiz button. You don't want to release their grade to them immediately after each submission, just because they could share those answers with the kid next to them, or if you're giving it later in the afternoon, you don't want to give those answers away. So you can say later, and you can send that out whenever. It could be after class, it could be a couple days later, whatever makes sense to you. And when you send that out, you have some options. Do you want them to be able to see the questions they missed? Do you want them to be able to see the correct answers, the point values for those questions? So select whatever you want for those. Also, if you go under General, it's helpful to collect their email address. You want to restrict it to Ladue kids only and only let them be able to answer it one time. You don't want them to be able to edit it after they submit. If you want them to see how the rest of the class did, you could do that. I usually don't click that. Presentation-wise, you can shuffle the questions. You can have a confirmation message like, thanks for taking the quiz or whatever. Or you can tell them like what they're doing next, like open your books. Bam. Okay. So I'm going to leave those settings. And then if you want to play around with the values a little bit, what happens is you can come down to this answer key button, click it, and then choose the correct answer. And then don't forget to give it however many points you want it to be worth. So correct answer. I would check and make sure all of those have them in there correctly. And then the last thing you want to do before you send it to your students is you want to preview the quiz. So you click on preview, and you're actually going to take it yourself, so you can just make sure. I think I already did this, so I don't have to go through everything. Yeah, okay, so I got all my answers in here, and I'm going to click submit. Now, if we go back to the quiz from the teacher's perspective, you can look at responses, which is cool. You can look at a summary of responses. So once more kids take this, you can see like, oh man, a lot of kids missed number 1. Maybe we should go back and talk about that. So it should give you a summary of what all of the kids did. Now, individually, if you want to look at their grades, click on individual right here, and you can see that ssemel@ladueschools.net, that's me, whoop, whoop, got an 8 out of 8 points. So that's helpful for you when you're grading, that you can just go through and do that. You can also open it in a Google Sheet if you want to look at all of their responses at once, and it also has their scores over here, which is helpful in my personal humble opinion. And what you should be able to do if you want is, since they're by last name and first name, you can hide all of these columns, and then you can just sort it from their last names. That's why we have them put their last name in first, or that's why I do that at least. And then you can just input the grades, bam, 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 very simply. Yeah, anywho, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, the last thing, if you want them to get their scores back, if you want them to see what they missed, you can release their score, and it's going to give them an email, and it's just going to go directly to their Ladue Schools email and tell them whatever you allowed them to see in this portion. So if you said they can see the correct answers, then they're going to get those. All right, that's all I got for you.